Ready?
Woo!
Welcome, guys, to the special episode of BATTLETOME BEATDOwn. Do the thing. BATTLETOME BEATDOwn. I want to say a massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending us both Sons of Behemat, or the Giant's Book, and the Lumineth Realm Lords. You want to hold it? I'll pass it to you. You ready? Here you go.
This one. This way.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. He got the new book. Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
So we're very excited to talk about this in front of our live studio audience. As you can see, we always stream this live, and even though we're recording this before the NDA date, we couldn't do it without our automatically generated live chat, so we felt right at home.
It's what nobody knows is I'm actually pro gamer, and I brought my Twitch stream with me.
Excellent.
They just don't really
300
know what's
IQ,
going on, though.
300 IQ, Louis. That's genius.
I am a pog champ. I mean,
You are a pog champ in that heart.
I have no idea what NAFA means.
As you might have seen on our streams where we do get a new battle tome, what we normally do is we take the battle tome, we both go away with it, we write a list, and then we hit them against each other with the live studio audience voting on who they think's the best. However, we've got 2 books to go over today. So what we thought we'd do is Louis went off with the Lumineth Realm Lords, as you just saw, and I've got the Sons of Behemat. We both wrote a list with the books that we're gonna like theoretically pitch against each other, and you guys at home can vote for the best one. So whoever gets the best one or the most votes gets to keep King Brod, who is kindly given to us by Games Workshop as well. Very cool, very epic, big boy.
Fully painted as well. Whoa.
Fully painted, yeah. And whoever loses has to buy the other person a second King Brod.
I just have the money?
Beat down. It's beat down time.
I just want to say, Mikey.
Yeah.
2 things. One, I'm almost certain that I'm going to trounce you and just push you into the dirt. And
We'll
2, how come you got the book with 6 Warscrolls and I got the one with 400?
Smooth brain. So what we've done is we've loaded our list into Tabletop Simulator, as you can see. And this is Louis' list. This is his magnum opus of, I got the book a week early and I wrote my list already. So Louis, talk me through it. What do you like about the book? What do you like about the book, like, generally?
Oh, God. Foxes are trash. And I really like that because they're so annoying to play against.
You do hate foxes, don't you?
It's okay. It's okay. I think it's in a better place than it was. There's no horrible foxes.
It just seems like, is that your sales pitch of Lumineth Realm Lords? They seem alright.
No. There is some dumb stuff in here.
Okay.
And this is a list made to abuse the dumb stuff, which is not dumb against everyone. It'll be dumb in certain matchups. Giants.
Well, what we'll do is we'll post your list in the description so everyone can read through it, but you're going to talk me through it and tell me about it now and tell me why it's so good.
I don't know what the subfactions are actually called. They're like cities or something in Good Start.
Which one have you started with? Which one have you got?
Ymetrica.
Ymetrica.
It starts with, it's YM, Ymetrica.
Yeah.
Wow. It makes my Alarith units better at ignoring rend. Everything that's not on a horse or a mage that's not floating on a cloud ignores 2 points of rend. So if you have -3 rend, I get the whole fucking lot.
Okay.
But if 1 or 2, it gets reduced to 0.
Nice. Okay. That's cool.
Which is pretty tasty.
That's pretty boss. Reducing 1 and 2 to 0 when most of the game is 1 and 2.
Yeah. So it's like going,
all
what's
that
your rend?
defense?
Oh, I don't care.
All that defense?
Yeah, because it's not ethereal. It's ignore to -2 rend, which is way better than ethereal.
Really, really good.
Way better, especially when you can use A for quartz to +1 like you've always been able to do.
What great strategy have you gone for?
It's called Alarith Aftershock. It basically, at the end of the game, if 2 or more Alarith units, which is most of the army, is contesting 2 or more objectives, you get it.
Not bad. To say you've got all of them. Fair play.
Yeah, which I don't think is bad either. It's a bit less like kill all the enemy battle line, which if you've done that, you've probably won anyway. You just have to have some left, and you've got like 7 units to pick from. 6 units, so it's not bad at all. My battalions, we've got the old expert conquerors with these bad boys.
Of course. So there were three models each on each point.
Yeah, we got the horsey boys. They are bounty hunters.
Okay, +1 damage against Galician warriors.
Galician warriors.
Galician veterans, sorry.
And then I've got a command entourage with the rest of it. And I'm taking an extra spell lore, so everyone knows an additional spell. I'm at 1940 points, so there is room for an endless spell.
All right.
Probably cogs.
Probably
or
cogs.
life.
Yeah, it makes sense. Cogs benefits everybody, right? So
yeah.
Wicked.
So
right.
Probably cogs.
You know what we haven't done, Louis? The most important bit. What's the name of the list?
Oh no.
Have you got a name?
The Geodudes. Off the top of my head. Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good name. So the Geodudes. Okay.
You put me on the spot. I even knew you'd ask that question, and I have not named it. the Geodudes for now, because I can't think of it.
The Geodudes, I like it.
Some pun about being rock solid. Something like that.
So, Louis, who's your general? Let's start there.
This fine gentleman.
Hello, fine gentleman on a rock.
Yeah, he's just floating there, chilling. Imagine being cross-legged in the middle of battle.
That would be pretty like big ball, big Chad energy.
Wait. They have at the start of the hero phase, a unit Hollow in 6, a Stone Guard unit, can get +1 wound until the next hero phase.
Decent.
Pretty good.
For free.
Yeah.
Fleshy abundance on crack.
Yeah, exactly, because I don't need to fucking cast it.
You got other shit to cast, right?
Yeah, so that's pretty good, and it kind of compounds on the list. You'll see why later. Well, it's better. They also activate a bunch of buffs. Having 2 of them is important for redundancy. At the start of the combat phase, they can basically make Stone Guard not pile in to give them an additional point of rend.
Oh, combat. Wow, okay, that's huge. What's their reach like, though?
Well, they get the galley vets anyway, so they can fight through each other.
True.
And I believe they got big hammers. I haven't actually looked, but I would hope it's 2 inches. It is 2 inches.
Yeah, so 2-inch and galley vets. Fair play.
2-inch and galley vets. And they also need to be close to Avlanor. Basically, while they're close to him, he always counts as being at top bracket, which is real important when we go over talking his profile for damage and what he does. 2 of them are good. And also, their spells are nuts. Their built-in spell, Gravity Redirection, Mikey. We're doing something. Whoa. Like that scene in this is where the sick editor, we pay an editor, right?
Yeah.
We pay an editor to put the Stonemage on, that scene in the Sleepy movie about dreams, where the Inception, where the corridor spinning round.
Oh yeah. It's actually
we'll put his face on that, and we'll play it now.
Great
edit. Great, yeah, cool. It's casting value 5.
Okay.
Which is nothing. 18-inch range. The caster can fly. Apparently can't fly already, and they're floating.
Even though it's on a rock.
Enemy unit halves move speed.
What's the range?
18. And they can't fly if they could.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. But again, it's like one of those things. You're going to see, Mikey, there's going to be a theme. There's going to be a theme. Yeah. It's like the most Bellicom, non-Bellicor list. So they both have that. So they're both exactly the same. I gave them both the same spells because they're only one cast. The next spell they have is Crippling Vertigo, casting value 6, 18-inch range.
They would have Crippling Vertigo on that giant rock that they're just cross-legged on chilling.
I don't know. That's what, 5 foot high? If you've got Vertigo at 5 foot high, you've got some serious.
He just sat on like a single rock.
I mean, he's balancing. Look at the point of contact. I would hate to have this model.
Yeah, look. He's balanced on a single tiny rock. He would definitely have vertigo. He's like, I'm going any second. This is all for shits and gigs, and I'm out.
Nah, he's casted his gravity redirection, mate. He's flying. Casting value 6, range 18. Put it on an enemy model. Every time it tries to do something, run, charge, fight, shoot.
I already hate the sound of that.
I roll 2d6. If it's over the bravery of the thing that's trying to do something, can't do it. It just wastes it. It's Bellicor.
Bellicor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal.
And the last one that they have is Unbreakable Stoicism, casting value 7. Pick 1 unit of Stone Guards. They do mortal wounds on 5s to hit instead of 6s.
Cool.
Pretty standard Lumineth thing. mortal wounds on 6s. Both the Stonemages are the same, so you got the redundancy. They're one cast anyway, so they both know 3 spells, so there should always be something to do. The Enlightener, whose model is not on TTS yet, but is this fine gentleman. It's the one from Arcane Cataclysm. They are here for their ability to cast the same spell twice. Once per turn, if this unit successfully casts a spell from the Law of Hysh, on a 3+, you can immediately resolve that effect of the spell for a second time.
Nice.
But you cannot pick the same target for the spell.
What spells do they have?
So their Warscroll spell, Poopy, I'm not even going to go over it. It's just, you won't cast it. Overwhelming Heat is probably what they're casting, which is casting value 6. Pick a unit within 18, an enemy unit. They half their movement.
So they just half all the time.
If that goes off once, on a 3-up, you can put it on 2 different units. Oh, there's more to the spell as well, actually.
Oh.
You roll a d6, and if it's equal to above their save characteristic, they take d3 mortal wounds as well. Yeah, so d3 mortal wounds, you're moving half. On a 3-up, someone else is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. And if you get the first spell off, someone else is moving half, or you're stacking it.
Do you see where this is going, Mikey?
I can see where this is going, yeah. It's like Stone Lung. It's terrible.
Yeah. He's a 2-cast wizard who has... Mystic Shield has lots of value in this list because everything ignores 2 rend.
Sure.
So Mystic Shield, an Endless Spell as well in the list. Maybe Cogs, maybe Life Swarm. Next hero is the old Cathalar, the lady with the sheet on her face.
Oh, yeah. She's
changed a little bit. She used to be able to make you immune to Battle Shock and make someone else take it instead of you, an enemy. It was really annoying. She doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Well, yeah, so they've taken all the horrible stuff out and replaced it with unfun spells. Her spell on her Warscroll. Do you remember Crippling Vertigo, Mikey? The spell that makes you not do
Tiny
stuff
rock.
if you roll over their bravery.
Tiny rock gonna fall.
Yeah, her Warscroll spell is called Darkness of the Soul, and they have copy and pasted the same spell.
You're joking.
No.
Oh my lord.
So,
why?
Casting value 7. I don't know if it's an error.
Could be.
Or it's supposed to be like that. So that's potentially 2 different units that can't do anything if you roll above the bravery, or the same one that has 2 chances. So imagine this. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you have a big model worth 600 and some points, and maybe a fancy new one. Maybe it's in the middle of the board. Yeah, maybe it's got 2 chances to not do anything, and then when it can, it moves a quarter of its speed.
This doesn't sound fun. King Bro. Bro, listen. Even if Louis wins you, just remember I'll always love you and your giant hammer.
While he plods his 2 inches across the board.
And I can't fight.
What's his bravery? 7 as well.
Probably.
Me big gargle, me afraid of little elves. Sorry, elves.
He's bravery 9, mate. Get fucked.
Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave Broad alone. She has 2 more spells. Total Eclipse, which is the same as it always was. She casts a spell. It goes off on a 9. But if it goes off, you have to spend 2 CP instead of 1 whenever you do anything with CP. And she also has Overwhelming Heat, which is the half move.
Sure. There's a lot of half move in this.
Yeah.
That's going to be so brutal. Lumineth have gone from moving 20 million inches a turn to making everyone else not move.
Yeah. When I was making my list, these characters were like at the start of it, because I feel like that combo for what is essentially 500 points is brutal.
That is quite brutal, yeah. I agree.
So even if you're not running all these stone people, I think having at least one of them to do that spell is pretty.
It is really good. You think of like normally I play like demons and stuff like that. Well, Nurgle. I only move 4 anyway with a lot of my stuff. The flies move 8. You make them move 4 as well. It's like brutal.
Again, it's not going to be great against everything because demon army is 10 bravery. You're not You're unlikely to get stuff, but the average is about 7 across the board. You go against something like Gloomspite or Beasts or something like that, and you're just laughing.
Actually crying. Yeah. So actually 4 characters. Then you got Big Lad, big cowboy.
Old Avlanor. So Avlanor's the centerpiece model. Every good army needs a centerpiece model.
Sure does.
He is a whopping 420 points. Editor glasses come down.
Wait, sorry. Twitch chat. What do you reckon to that?
Vac.
300 IQ, PogChamp. PogChamp.
Okay. Yeah, he's pretty good. He ignores rend as well. Best points about him, If he doesn't charge, +1 attack characteristic.
Nice.
All right. Ignores -2 rend, as said. 6s to hit are a mortal wound in addition with his 2 hammers. He has a bubble of -1 to hit if an enemy unit is within 12 of him and it degrades, but he doesn't degrade as long as he stays within 12 of a Stonemage. So there is a big ass bubble of -1 to hit, which is pretty useful. He has a command ability that lets me pick 3 Alarith elf units.
Okay.
I know, maybe 3 big units of my battle line.
And they get
+1 attack.
Nice.
For the phase, for the combat phase. So, but this is where it gets tasty. I'm gonna read you out his combat abilities. You ready?
Okay, let me just look at his face while you do that, just so we can see the face with no mercy.
Prepare yourself.
I'm ready.
He's a big Mikey. Ask him if he's got milk.
Have you got milk?
6 attacks, 7 if you charge him, or he hadn't charged.
Yeah.
Freeze, -2, 5 damage.
That's pretty good.
Imagine all them going through, and then your mate going, "Oh yeah, no saves. It's 30 damage, mate." 35 if you get the extra attack. That in itself is nuts.
That's pretty
on
good.
A monster with a 3-up save that ignores -2 rend.
Yeah, that's good.
Bit of a beat stick.
Yeah. Does it have any other attacks?
Some hoof ones, they're just fine.
Okay.
2 attacks, freeze, -1/2.
All right. So it's just the hammers to worry about.
The main thing, he fights well. The bubble of -1 to hit is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Pretty good.
And then you've got 3 units of hammers and 2 horses.
Yeah, so the hammers are the battle line. And they're battle line because we've got Stonemage as the general. Oh no, because we're in this great city, whatever the hell it is.
Okay.
Interesting things about these. They ignore rend. They only move 4. They're 2 wounds each.
Cool.
They're slow boys.
Very slow.
They're hard to kill boys. They've got a 4-up save base.
Sure. Ignore rend,
but
up to 2. So they either get a 4-up save or don't get a save.
Yeah. Probably a 3-up if stuff's attacking.
Yeah, of course.
All right, are you ready for this? This is new to this book. Fortitude of the Earth. This unit has a ward save against mortal wounds of 4-up while it is contesting an objective that you control.
Oh my god.
These are all worth 3 each. They've got 2 wounds each. They ignore -2 rend.
Yeah, and they've got a 4-up ward against mortals.
They've got a 4-up ward against mortals, and they're ignoring -2 rend. And 1 unit has an extra wound.
Oh, yeah, of course.
2
You're
to
going to
3.
be selecting one of them to have an extra wound. Oh, damn.
Do you see where this starts to compound?
Yes.
So you've got these big blocks of battle line that should be hard to shift.
30 on a point.
Yeah, and then you've got these spells that go, "Oh, nice game. Would be a shame if you didn't get to play it."
You over there who's really threatening. You're half move and you can't do anything else. You're quarter move. An 8
This
move.
is the sort of list you'll rock up to a table and go, "Right, have you got any -3 rend?"
Yeah, that
Oh,
can't
cool.
be.
What's their bravery? All right, and then your facial expression will either be, "Yeah, wicked. We'll have a great game," or "GG, mate. I'm off for a drink."
Oh,
but yeah, that's the bulk of it.
What are
horses.
the horses for?
So they're the other thing that I basically started every list with.
Okay.
On their own, aren't particularly outstanding, and they don't really fit. They don't have any synergies in this, but I think they're a standout unit for their points. They're one of those like worker units. They're worth 140, which is not very much. They move 14. They've got two wounds. They're in Shining Company, so they get -1 to be hit. That's good. Yeah, they're wizards, so they can cast, and the law's pretty good. Standout is a spell that doubles your movement characteristics, so they can move 28. They have a special ability, which I think came in with Arcane Cataclysm, which I think makes them very good. They get an extra attack if they attack something with a wound characteristic of 1 or 2. Nice. Or 2 extra attacks if they attack with a wound characteristic of 1.
Nice. All right. Little bully unit for like screens and stuff.
Yeah.
Quite nice.
140 points. Bounty hunters, so it's +1 damage. They get an extra +1 to wound and rend on the charge. So they're just killing whatever screen you put at most of the time for very little cost. With a potentially 28-inch move, which I thought was pretty sick.
That is pretty sick.
So they're not amazing, but I think they're good for their
cheap,
points.
aren't they? You know, you get that early game movement if you really need it for 28 inch to grab a point that's really far away, cheap battle tactic, etc. And if they really need to, they can go and kill a screen quite easily.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit toolboxy.
Yeah, toolbox. You know it, mate. But yeah, that's it. That's the last bit.
That's the list.
The last. What's that, Mikey?
It looks quite scary.
It's the last piece of the puzzle.
Whoa, thanks. So that's your list. 1940 points. You probably put cogs in there to make it 1980.
Yeah, cogs. I think Life Swarm has some value when you've got such hard to kill troops. Potentially, Rune of Petrification is the same as it always has been, and there's something else that lets you cast one of their endless spells in Lumineth. But
nice.
They're all the same.
List if you haven't got wizards to answer.
Yeah.
Very scary. So that was Geodudes. Are you ready to talk about my list?
You have to lead with the name. I hope you haven't thought about it either.
With a name. But my list is called Big, Dumb, and Full of Cum. It's Gargants! Hooray!
Wow.
There it is. 6 whole models.
What's that in the middle? That doesn't look like anything I've seen before.
So we're doing some proxying because my model hasn't been added either. It's the prize of winning. It's the prize, you see? That's how it is.
Mikey, what are you going to do if I win? You've lost half your army.
I guess I'll die. Gargants. So they are, I think, one of the most annoying factions to play against because they have a rule called Mightiest Mates Rightiest or something like that, which is basically they count as 30 models on an objective and the little ones count as 10. And I always found that really annoying because you had to outright kill them before they didn't count as anything.
Mikey, has it changed though in the new book?
It has, and that makes me like them a lot more to make them think they're a lot fairer. Much like Kragnos, is that they count as 30 models on the point, but that degrades as they take wounds, which I think is just a much better way to do it. You know?
Definitely, because it was well annoying leaving a Gargant on 2 wounds and it being like, oh yeah,
30 models.
I've still got this point and I'm going to retreat.
It's really, really dumb. So you could say I've looked at the Warscrolls from before and now, and I think they have been nerfed a little bit, but I think they have received a little bit of a damage output buff. So what I will say is they all move 10. All the big ones move 10, whereas before the Gatebreaker moved 12 and the Kraken Eater moved 11. Now they all move 10.
That was super weird.
So if I say something's cool or new and they already had it, I am sorry. So
smooth brain.
Smooth brain, yeah. So I'm running Sons of Behemat. It is a breaker tribe. So that gives buffs to the Gatebreaker and also the Man-Crusher Gargants, which is the smaller ones. So you can see the list is quite simple. It's a Gatebreaker, who's going to be my general. It's got a big lad in the middle, whose proxying is King Brod, the new named character, who I think has play, and I think his hammer's pretty badass. But, you know, he's a little bit of an expensive boy at 580 points. But then I've got a War Stomper because it's the cheapest one, and a unit of 2 and a unit of 1 Man-Crusher Gargants. It's only 3 drop. So I've got 2 battalions. I've got Bosses of the Stomp, which is 2 to 4 big Gargants, and I've got the War Stomper and Brod in there. And then I've got Foot Sloggers, which is 2 units of Man-Crushers, and then an optional unit of Man-Crushers and an optional Mega Gargant. So it's got my Gatebreaker and the Man-Crushers in there. So the Foot Sloggers is 1 drop, so they go down together. And then the Bosses of the Stomp, it's 1 drop or an artifact, and I've gone for the artifact, so that's why it's 3 drop. My subfaction is Breaker Tribe. That gives a fierce loathing ability, which you choose before the game starts. So I presume at tournaments you'll have to put this on your list. But you got 1 of 3, and it affects the Gatebreakers and the Man Crushers. So the option I've gone for is Bossy Boots and Clever Clogs. So Gatebreakers and Man Crushers get +1 to hit against heroes or wizards, which is quite nice.
Did they take the one out that everyone played, where it was like, if you have a flag or a command model, I get +1 to hit?
Yes. So you can choose between Bossy Boots and Clever Clogs, which is what I've taken. Idiots with Flags, which is Totem now.
Yeah.
Which I presume that was the old one. And then Wannabes, which is War Machine and Monsters.
That's better, because it was a no-brainer before.
Yeah, exactly. But as I said, with Gargants, that's like my subfaction, my allegiance. But my battle traits are, you have Mightier Makes Rightier. So obviously the Mega Gargants count as loads of models on a point, but they degrade, and Man Crushers count as 10. You also have to choose what type of tribe you're from. King Brod, what I think's weird is King Brod doesn't have a tribe, he doesn't have a keyword. for a tribe, which I think is really odd. So if you make him your general, he doesn't count as anything. So that's why the Gatebreaker said general. But they also have Wrath of Titans, which is, I believe is new. They have unique monstrous actions.
Ah, yeah, this is new. You should probably go over this, Mikey.
Yeah. So instead of taking out a normal monstrous action, a Mega Gargant specifically, so not the Man Crushers, can take one of these. So they have Beast Grapple. They all sound badass, by the way. Beast Grapple. Pick one enemy monster within 3 inches and roll a dice. On a 3+, you apply the fight last to that monster. So that monster fights last.
Bang!
Bitch slap that monster into submission and be like, nah, bitch, you're mine. That's what he says.
Beast Grapple is what I do when my partner's not home and I'm feeling lonely.
And then, straight after he's done his Beast Grapple, he does an Earth-Shaking Roar, which is the second one. So you pick one enemy unit with a wounds characteristic of a 1 or 2 within 3 inches of this unit and roll 2d6. If the roll is higher than the unit's bravery characteristic, we've heard this one before, for each point which the roll exceeds the unit's bravery, one model in that unit flees.
Oh, fuck it. See you later, Skaven.
Yeah. But the problem is the effect of this monstrous rampage doesn't affect battle shock. That's the only downside. And the unit's commanding player decides which models flees. He can't do anything janky with it. But if your opponents try to be janky, you can like counteract it. But yeah, so you roll 2d6 over the bravery, one model flees in the unit, which is really, really good.
Earth-Shattering Roar is what I do after I've Beast Grappled.
That's what I said at the start. You're making the same joke I just made. The third and final one is Colossal Slam. This is badass, right? This is what Louis does when his partner returns home from wherever shit they've been and he really wants a nice cuddle. Pick one enemy monster that is not part of a unit consisting of 2 or more models within half an inch of this unit and roll the dice. On a 3+, you can remove that monster from the battlefield and set it up again anywhere wholly on open ground within half an inch of this unit. That monster suffers D3 mortal wounds. In addition, however, the monster that did that is -1 to hit. So you can pick up and slam a monster like to the other side of your base. Bear in mind, your base is 130 mil wide. You can pick it up from one side and put it down the other. For example, taking it out of command range for like command abilities. Taking it off an objective.
You could pick another Gargant and body slam it off the objective. You could Chris Benoit German suplex it off the objective.
It's badass, I think. So that's like quite big. That's quite big. So they've got their 3 unique monstrous actions, which I think are all really good. Beast Grapple and Colossal Slam are really interesting. Make suffering a -1 to hit after you've done Colossal Slam kind of sucks, but it's like, I think that's like very, very powerful ability you've got in your pocket. So as I said, I've gone for the Taker tribe. So my Gargant, my Gatebreaker and Man Crushers are +1 to hit against heroes. My grand strategy is on the Warpath, which is a unique one from this book, which is basically have every friendly unit in your opponent's territory at the end of the game. Now I'm not. It sounds crap. You know, I could probably go for a better one. I wanted to go for one throughout the book. I thought that was cool because imagine if you've got one Gargant left, you just run it into your opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah, true.
Because they're going to kill your Gargants, let's be honest. They're going to die. But they're going to smash face first.
Not if you play like a god, Mikey.
Oh, I do play like a god. So I just move my entire army into their territory at the end of the game. Easy.
Use that teleport spell that you're going to go over later.
So my general is the Gatebreaker. The big smashy flail boy. Here he is, look.
Wow.
This is the first one I built. That's why he had to be my general. Command trait is called Extremely Bitter. So he chooses a second Fierce Loathing ability and he benefits from that solely. So obviously I've taken Bossy Boots and Clever Clog, so he gets +1 to hit against enemy heroes and wizards. And I've also gone for Wannabes, and now he gets +1 to hit against War Machine and monsters as well. So obviously I believe that'll stack with its 2 different abilities. Maybe. So if you're against a hero monster, you get +2 to hit.
You're still going to get +1.
On the dice roll, yeah. But if they've got a -1 to hit, like your Avalanor thing.
Oh, no.
I now still get +1 to hit. I still get +1 to hit.
That's true. Well, you've won now.
I basically won. Exactly. Your list is being successfully countered. The Gatebreakers, pretty smashy. I don't know how much they've changed specifically, but the Gatebreaker is like the one that hits the hardest. So again, 35 wounds, 4 up save, now moving just 10. 6 attacks with the Fort Crusher Flail, which is 4s and 3s -3. We're ignoring that silly ignore red thing. 4 damage.
No.
So yeah, so he's got a bunch of attacks. That degrades, obviously. And then he's got his Almighty Stomp and his Death Grip. I believe that they've had a couple of new things on here. So now they have a rule called Terror, which is on all the Mega Gargants. So enemy units cannot receive the Inspiring Presence command while they're within 3 inches of this unit.
That's a really good change.
It is, yeah.
Well, it's not good for me, but it's good for Gargant players. It means that they can't smash through 8 models and they just go, and they're going to stand there.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's quite a nice change. I don't know what else is changed. I'll quickly just run through what's on the Gatebreaker. So they've got Almighty Stomp. So they add 1 to hit rolls with their Stomp against wounds of 3 or less. They've got Crushing Charge. So if they charge something on a 2+, they do D3 mortal wounds. Unless it's a monster, then it's D6. They've got Death Grip. So against any monster, you can roll 2d6 for the damage. It's D6 damage. You roll 2 dice and pick the highest rather than just rolling 1. They've got Long Shank, so they still move over terrain and not anything that's not a monster is normal. They've got Pulverizing Strike. When this unit fights, you can say you'll unleash a Pulverizing Strike. Instead of making attacks with this unit's melee weapons, pick one unit within 3 inches. On a 4+, it takes 4d6 mortal wounds. I don't think I've heard that before.
Oh no. So that means you go, oh yeah, no. Do that to my guys that ignore most of the rend, and then they go, oh, that's nice.
That's 4d6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, I'll ignore half of them.
Why didn't? Oh,
because I'm on a point.
Because you're on a point. I could. Yeah. Okay.
It means if you wanted to be truly smooth brain, you just go, not going to roll any attacks. I'm just going to roll 4. Just take 4d6 more. Just have them.
And then he's got +1 damage with his Fork Crusher Flail, so it make it 5 damage if it guarantees a train feature or in cover. And if you do the rubble smash to rubble monstrous rampage, each unit takes D3 mortal wounds on a 2+. Which is kind of nice. So it's giving a little bit of play there.
I think that's the same as it always has been.
Yeah, I think that one was the same. But they've got a lot of better options. So Gatebreaker's the big smashy boy, and as I said, he's got the +1 to hit heroes and monsters and war machines and wizards. But I've also given him an artifact, King Slaughter Cowl. As you can see, it's King Cowl.
Wow, yeah.
Simon Cowell, that's what he's wearing.
No,
he's a pop idol.
If you don't green stuff trousers all the way up to his nipples, I'm not playing against him.
But now he gets +1 to wound against heroes as well. That's the artifact. The Gatebreaker only add 1 to wound rolls.
He's gonna smack the living fuck out of Arcane.
Yeah, so
he's just gonna walk up and go, here you go, mate.
Against a hero wizard, a hero monster.
Or a wizard monster.
Yeah, he's hitting 2s and winning on 2s.
No reroll 1s though, right?
No reroll 1s as far as I can tell.
Thank Jesus.
So that's him. So I'm trying to drag it out because I've only got 6 models and 3 of them you don't really talk about. But anyway, this one, I'm going to zoom out. Almost King Brod. That's what we've got. Almost King Brod. So he's the new named character for the Sons of Behemat. He's pretty cool. I think he's got a little bit of play, but I quite like him just because he's got a big fuck off hammer, which is cool. So he's a War Master, which is important, obviously, because they don't have a War Master otherwise. So you're going to get that command point even while your general's dead. So if the Gatebreaker goes and kills some, you suddenly get some command points. So he's got a couple of special rules, and he's got some really cool weapons as well. But I'll go through the rules first. He's got creepers, which are the little red things that ride on his horns. The little tiny things that are smaller than Gretchen. In the charge phase, the first time an enemy monster within 3 inches of this unit is picked to carry out a monstrous rampage, roll the dice. If the roll is equal to or greater than the creeper value shown in this unit's damage table, that monster cannot carry out monstrous rampages this phase.
That's alright. No raw. It's pretty good. No body slam if you're against other Gargants.
Yeah. Do you know what it starts at?
2.
It does start at 2+.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Until he's taken 18 wounds. When he's taken 19, it's on 3+. He has 40 wounds.
Sounds about right.
It's never worse than a 5+, which is pretty decent to be fair. He's got all the same abilities, but he's also a priest, which is kind of badass, I think.
Yeah, this is weird to me that he's a priest.
Why?
Like, who's he praying to? Kragnos?
It says, the primordial power of Behemat clings still to King Brod, his favoured son, who incites his fellow Gargants to bring the wrath of their fallen father upon their enemies. So he's praying to Behemat, or Behemoth.
He's got a daddy complex.
He's got a daddy complex. So he has a natural prayer, but also, because he's a priest, he has access to a 6-up ward on a 4+. So you get within 12. So you're giving him or another Gargant within 12 a 6+ ward. However, he also has Power of Behemat, answer value of 3. If you've killed a monster in the battle, it's on a 2.
If Brod has, or anyone.
Yeah, if Brod kills a monster, yeah. Which is pretty boss. So he basically, if it's answered, you can choose one of these abilities, but you can't use these abilities more than once per game. That's the only downside to it. But +2 move to all Sons of Behemat. No range, all of them. You can heal D3 wounds to all of them. Or you can improve the rend characteristic of the following melee weapons used by friendly Sons of Behemat. The Obelisk of Tor Crania, which is his giant hammer. The Menhir Club, the Shipwrecker War Club, the Titanic Ball Club, the Fork Crusher Flail, and the Massive Club, which is basically all the primary weapons, not the Stomps and the Death Grips.
Whoa. Did I just hear increase rend?
Yes.
Improve
the rend characteristic.
Nah.
All Sons of Behemat by 1.
No, I can't ignore it then.
Yeah, bear in mind his hammer, the Obelisk of Tall Crania, is -2 rend, so it will be -3.
Not against me. I'll will that not to exist. The healing prayer seems shite. D3 wounds is a drop in the ocean for Gargants.
Yeah, but it's everybody all at the same time, which is kind of good.
Yeah, but
all
guess.
6 models heal D3, and then they do might recovery on one of them. So his Obelisk of Tor Crania can become -3 rend, which is pretty good. I should say he's got 40 wounds. He counts with 25 points in the model at the top bracket. 25 models on a point, sorry, at full bracket.
40 wounds is a lot of wounds.
Yeah, 40 wounds is a lot of wounds, but they've only got 4 up save. That's kind of like the downside. But now he's a 4 up save with a 6 up war. But his hammer is 3s and 3s, -2 and 5 damage with 4 attacks at top bracket. So not quite as many attacks as Avalanor, but his attacks don't degrade until he's taken 27 wounds.
Avalanor's don't. Ever.
Well.
I still back the cow guy.
Yeah, well. That's fine. So that's King Brod. As I said, so he can turn off monstrous actions.
Is that the only combat? Yeah, is that the only profile?
The Almighty Stomp
and other stuff.
Okay. They've all got Almighty Stomp and Death Grip. So the Almighty Stomp is 2 attack, 3s and 3s, -2 D3 damage, and the Death Grip is 1 attack, 3s and 2s, -2 D6 damage, or 2d6 with the highest against monster. So I like the prayers on him. The new Beast Smashers are cool. He's got 3 attacks, 3s and 2s. -3, 5 damage, but the rend degrades as he takes wounds. He's pretty good. You could like drop him in his the Gatebreaker if you wanted to. Yeah, they both got play. King Brod's kind of cool. I think his hammer's cooler.
I think his hammer's cooler.
I do, yeah. And then finally, I've got a War Stomper. So War Stomper, he's the cheapest of the Gargants, that's for sure. 35 wounds still. His Titanic Boulder Clubs, the attack characteristic is equal to the number of enemy models within 3 inches. And then you add the Titanic Boulder Club value, which is in the damage table, to the total. Or you add 4 to the total for each enemy monster within 3 inches, to a maximum of 10. It's a long way of saying he smashes things by his feet, basically. You get 4 for each monster, 1 for every model within 3, up to 10. And you naturally get +4. But the only problem is with it, it's 3s and 3s, -2, 2 damage. So it's alright, it's fine. You know, it's okay. It doesn't really do anything crazy. He's got jump up and down, which is 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, -2 D3 damage, and then he's got his Death Grip as well. He's got Hurled Body. After this unit makes a piling move, pick one enemy model within 3 inches and roll a dice. Add the Hurled Body modifier to the roll, which is +2, it's full bracket. If the roll is at least double that model's wound characteristic, it is slain, and you can roll another dice on a 4+, pick an enemy unit within 12 inches and visible to it. That unit suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the wounds characteristic of the slain model. So he picks up a random model and throws it.
There's a battle tactic now to do that.
There is.
I believe.
There is a battle tactic, yeah. So.
Mikey, he's building a list around the battle tactics, guys. He's made it. He's made it in AOS. Kill one unit with another.
Man Skittles, okay? To complete this tactic at the end of turn, if a friendly War Stomper used its Hurled Body ability, an enemy model was slain by the first part of the ability, and an enemy battle line unit was picked for the second part of the ability and suffered more wounds.
No, it doesn't even have to kill it. Just go have a wound.
He does take some more wounds. So you pick up a model, throw it, and then you do more wounds equal to the wound characteristic.
That's a lot of dice that you have to roll to go your way.
It's 2 dice, yeah. So you have to roll over the wound characteristic with +2, and then roll the 4+. Then you get a battle tactic.
It's basically have a battle tactic on a 4. Yeah. I mean, it's got some value. It depends what you're fighting again, doesn't it? You're picking something mental up like an Annihilator with a 2-up save on a 1-up is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice save. Would be a shame if someone just fucking
and he just playing a couple more wounds. And it's after you make a piling move as well, so he's 4 your fights, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So that's him, but I've given him an artifact. It's one of the Sons of Behemat artifacts, so it's not Take a Tribe. It's called the Amber Bone Totem, which is run and charge, Louis. They don't have any missile weapons, so it's all run and charge. So he's running and charging. King Brod can give +2 move to the entire army. So if you go first, or made to go first, because you're 3-drop, you put the War Stomper on the front. He moves 12 + D6 and then charges.
So you can make it 18 and then charge. All right.
But what if I said that wasn't the only charge threat turn 1? I know. Because you got these.
Whoa!
There's a command ability. So the command can only be issued by your general, and the unit receives it must be a Man Crusher Gargant unit. Until the end of the phase, you can attempt to charge within 18 inches and charge 3d6. So for 1 CP, with a cheeky run, or an auto advance 6, or auto run 6, which would be quite cheeky, you got a big Gargant charging 18 from 18 inches move, and you got the little Gargants 3d6 charging with a 10-inch move.
12 if you get... Oh, no. It's King Brod's thing that's for all Sons of Behemat?
It is, but they move 8 now.
I couldn't tell you in the foggiest what these do in combat. Like, I haven't seen little ones for so long.
So when they've got like 2 profiles. They've got like a unit of 1 and then a unit, right? A Man Crusher mob. And they come in units of 3. The problem is that to take them in unit of 3, you have to take them as 450. You have to take them as a stat back unit. But what you get for that is you get champion. So one of them gets a +1 attack on their club, which is quite cool. The thing is with them, if they have a rule called keep up, so if it's wholly within 15 inches of a Mega Gargant, it can run and charge. So now they can move 16 and charge 3d6. You got the Wall Stomper who can move up to 18 and charge still, just on 2d6, which is pretty cool. I think it's really like proper like pressure turn 1, and this is why I got unit 2. So 1 can stay at the back, 2 Mega Gargants in the middle, Mega Gargant and 2 Man Crushers at the front. That's the plan. That's the pincer move. What are you laughing for?
Okay. No, that sounds sick, mate.
So they've got all this, the normal rules said they've got keep up so they can run and charge. They do have throwing rocks at 1 attack, which you probably never do. It's rend 1, it's d3 damage and hits on 4. They have the stomping charge, which is after you make a charge move, pick one of your unit within 1 inch and roll a dice. If it's equal to or greater than the stomping charge value shown on this unit's damage table, which starts at 2+, you do d3 more wounds. And they have stuff from in my bag, which is after this enemy unit makes a piling move, pick one in model within 3 inches and roll a dice. If the roll is at least double the wounds characteristic, it's slain. And they've got a club, which is 4 attacks, freeze and freeze, -1, 2 damage. And then headbutt, which is 1 attack and 4 damage with -3 rend. And then got the mighty kick, which is 1 attack and d3 damage at rend 2.
Why is their head got -3 rend? There's no sharp about an head.
I mean, he's wearing one of them's wearing a skull and got teeth.
Wham! Wham!
But yeah, so 12 wounds, move 8, only bravery 7.
Oh, fuck, there are only 12 wounds.
Only 12.
I guess they're 150 each, right?
They're 150 each, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're quite cheap. So that's the list. So again, it's 3 drops. I've got run and charge on 2 of my units, or 3 of my units even, if I want to send all my Man Crushers in. And I've got all these cool, unique, monstrous actions now. We've got the Gatebreaker, who's actually looks at anything that looks fancy and just murders it. We've got King Brother just whacking his hammer everywhere and praying to the Behemat. And we've got the War Stomper, who will definitely die first every game. And that's the list. That's the Battletome beatdown.
Oh,
what do you reckon?
Mikey.
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts about the lists?
Pov of Mikey's opponent when he takes turn 1 and he's just going, just pushing all his models as far up the board as they'll go. I'm gonna charge you. Fucking hell, Mikey. I've gone for the thinking man's like surgeons list, you know.
I've done the
pinpoint accuracy. No, you haven't. You've just gone.
Look.
Big giants go burr.
Kindly sent me Brod, and I thought about making a second one. War Stomper. I've got all the Mega Gargants done.
Paint one blue and give it spines and just make it go, gotta go fast. And just
the
send
War
it
Stomper
board. Mikey's bravery is low. None of them are doing anything. I'll win.
King Brod's bravery 9.
In all fairness, Mikey, you did actually look for your own book and came up with this list without my input for a change.
Wow. Thanks.
So you should be given full props for whatever the viewers think is good or bad.
Yeah. But I will say my list, it's cool. It's got 3 things. I did consider, after Toby's import, 3 Gatebreakers and Incarnate, and I was like, nah, that's boring. And here's what we've got. Turn 1, Smashy Face with the Gatebreaker and King Bod chilling. So, that is Battletome Beatdown.
I don't even like the words. I just like making the noises.
So let us know which list you think's best and which Battletome you're most excited about. Let us know down in the comments. I'm really excited about this Battletome to a point where I'm building Gargants. I'm going to take them to a team event with Louis and the boys. I'm going to take this list, I think, unless Louis says it's rubbish.
You're not coming to my team with this, because I'll be like, Mikey, you need to play slow, you need to play chill, we just need a slight loss. And you're like, I'm going in.
Imagine you get all of them in turn 1. Imagine the devastation you could do.
Wicked. But like in that every army, what's the opposite from 4-inch moving plague bearers?
Advance and charge, run and charge Gargants.
Fucking
18-inch with a re-rolling charge.
Bless you.
Let's go.
To be fair, I haven't seen you been so hyped for an army in a while, so that's good.
That's good.
Are you hyped because you think they're going to be good, or because you like the idea of turning your brain off for 9 hours a day and then still doing fine? Probably. He's taken the easy road. He's taken the easy road out.
No, I just think they look really cool. I think they're quite cool. They're like Imperial Knights, aren't they? They're kind of like, you got like 4 models. You're gonna kill loads of shit, and you're probably gonna do all right. So a little bit of, let's just turn my brain off a little bit. So, do you want to have a game? Now.
Yeah, do you want to? Can I roll 2d6 with her?
Wait. So, whilst we go find out who's going to win, you let us know your vote. You got it all over and you failed. That's a 7.
Nah, pick the little ones.
All right.
What's their bravery?
He's going to move. I need you measuring again. Right, while we go and find out who's going to win this match,
I've won.
Let us know down in the comments who you think's the best. And if you've got any questions about Battletome, we'll try and answer them. But we're both kind of hyped. Are you gonna play Lumineth?
No.
Well, Toby's thinking about playing Lumineth. I'm thinking about playing Gargant, so it should be a good laugh.
If you're looking to vote, by the way, Toby's getting Lumineth, and that's all you need to know.
He's not getting Gargant.
You should definitely give me your vote.
If that was your final comment, you should have said Toby's actually buying Lumineth. He's not buying Gargant.
We need to just put Toby's pick at the top and just go before anyone makes any decisions, and just a fly that goes, Toby picks Lumineth.
But there you go. So thank you very much for watching. Let us know what you think about this format of this show. And Louis, it's been a pleasure.
As always, young man.
We'll catch you on the flippity flop.
The flippity flop.
That's what you say.
I haven't said my catchphrase all.
We'll catch you
it's your boy. Flop. It's your boy.
Bye, teammates. Bye.
Mikey, I never said it. Bye.